In this video, we are going to take a look at the word I, what it means, and how we use it in Spanish. And then we're going to do a few examples all together. So first, what does it mean? So I is one of those interesting words in Spanish. It has two different meanings. It can mean both there is and there are. Now, we would translate this word to mean there is if we're talking about one object only. So, for example, hay un dinosaurio en la clase. There's only one dinosaur in the class. So, we're going to say there is one dinosaur in the class. But if I'm talking about more than one object, I would translate it to there are. So, for example, hay 29 estudiantes en la clase. There are 29 students in the class. There's more than one, so I would say there are. What does this look like in sentences? I could say hay 15 estudiantes en la clase F. There are 15 students in F block. Hay 29 estudiantes en la clase E. There are 29 students in E block. I could also say hay una computadora para cada estudiante. There is one computer for each student. So notice how with the first two I translated it there are because I'm talking about more than one student. But with the last one I just said there is because I'm talking about only one computer. Now you try. Write a sentence describing how many states, the word for states is estados, are in the USA. So I'd like you to pause the video and write that sentence in your notebook. All right, let's check our work. I could say, hay 50 estados en los Estados Unidos. There are 50 states in the United States. So notice how I said there are because there's more than one state here in the US. Now, write a sentence describing how many things, I could say cosas, are in your backpack or your mochila. Take a second, pause the video, and write this in your notebook. All right, let's see what you came up with. And then I'm not sure how many things are in your bag. Let's say 5. Hay 5 cosas en mi mochila. There are 5 things in my backpack. Again, I said there are because there's going to be more than one thing that's in your backpack. I hope. The next one, I see this word cuantas, and it means how many. It's a question word. So I could say cuantas vacas hay en la foto. How many cows are there in this picture? Take a second. Write your answer in your notebook in a complete sentence. Hay 3 vacas en la foto. 1, 2, y 3. They kind of look like they're making an album cover if you ask me. The next question. ¿Cuántos estudiantes hay en tu clase hoy? How many students are in your class today specifically? So take a minute, count the number of kids that are in your class, and write your answer in your notebook in a complete sentence. Let's see what you came up with. I'm not sure how many kids are in your class today, but we could say hay 20 estudiantes en mi clase hoy. There are 20 students in my class today. Notice how I said there are because there's more than one student in your class today. My next question is ¿Cuántos países hablan español? How many countries speak Spanish? So think about your answer. Think about our musical bracket. That's going to help you with how many there are. So take a minute and write your answer in your notebook in a complete sentence. All right, let's see what you got. Hay 22 países que hablan español. There are 22 countries and territories that speak Spanish. How'd you do on that one? All right, let's move on to the next one. ¿Cuántos perros hay en la casa de Señorita Burchell? So how many dogs are there in Señorita Burchell's house? So take a look. You've seen some pictures before. See if you can remember. Pause the video. Write your answer in a complete sentence in your notebook. All right, let's test your memory. Hay un perro en la casa de señorita Burchell. There is one dog at Miss Burchell's house. So you'll notice that this time I said there is because there's only one dog. Se llama Charlie. He's over there doing a nice sit like a good boy. And the last question I have for you. ¿Cuántos libros hay en la oficina de señorita Burchell? How many books are there in Miss Burchell's office? If you're not sure, make your best guess. Take a second, pause the video, and write your answer down in your notebook. All right, let's see how you did. Hay muchos libros en la oficina de señorita Burchell. There are lots of books in Miss Burchell's office. There's something like 400 or 500. All right, so in this video, we saw the word I, which again is one of those special words in Spanish with two different meanings. There is and there are. We would say there is if I'm talking about the existence of one object. Hay un dinosaurio en la clase. Or if I'm talking about more than one, I would say there are. Hay 29 estudiantes en la clase. There are 29 kids in the class. And that is what the word I means.